Good evening and welcome to the Neighborhood Center. Happy New Year to everyone. My name is Vicki Anderson. I'm Executive Director of the Pawcatuck Neighborhood Center, and my co-host is Maura Bonafede. And we'll be talking with you this evening about 4 or 5 issues. And we're very excited about 2015. We've got some new things going on at the Neighborhood Center. And so we're happy to be here to share it with you. First, I'd like to let everybody know in the community a couple of fundraisers that we have going on for us. And the first one is being done by a wonderful company in Mystic, Medtronics, and that is on Sunday, January 18th at the Bowling Lanes in Groton. And it is bowling for we call it bowling for diapers, but it's for our Keeping Babies Warm and Well program. And Medtronics has half of the bowling alley taken up with their employees, and we have a lot of infants who need diapers and wipes and baby food and shampoo and that sort of thing. So this is wonderful. The PNC is putting together some teams of 4. You don't have to be a great bowler. No. I'm not. I'll probably be holding with 2 hands and whatever. But what it does is it helps to raise some money for this particular program. And the other is our annual Chowder Fest, Cabin Fever Chowder Fest at Old Mystic Village. And it will be, once again, the last Saturday in February. Saturday, February 28th. And it'll be all the area's finest restaurants with their own particular type of chowder that they've put together, and everyone is different. You know, you think chowder, okay, it's got clams, it's got potatoes, it's got but there are so many different ways to make a chowder.
They've introduced a lot because a couple of my friends are allergic to clams. So now you can go and you can have all kinds of different flavored, like you said, the potato one or some kind of, Mexican ones, everything imaginable, and gives you an opportunity to try something different.
And it does. And the culinary department at Westerly High School won an award, I think it was last year. And it was a great opportunity for them to, put their skills on display. And so it was fun to see all the kids there. They were proud of what they've made, and it's just a great afternoon from noon to 5 o'clock. Free entertainment on the green, wonderful stores at Old Mystic Village. So those are 2 things we want the community to know about.
You get to vote for your favorite chowder at the end too, I think.
We still have the People's Choice Award, and it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. And we pack the parking lots. It's just great. So put those 2 things on your calendar. I think the first thing we probably really want to talk about is our enhancements that we've made to our Job Search Assistance Club.
Exactly.
And Maura heads that up. So
we've got some exciting new news with the Job Search Club because we're going to be available every day. So I'm going to be there every day from 8:30 into noon, extended if I need to be. And it's an opportunity to, a computer lab, start using that more, get people to come in and, the essential tools they need to go out and get the job, whether it's interviewing, any of those things. I can sit down and spend more time one-on-one with either an individual or a group of them and do presentations and have, regular seminars, how to go about searching for that job, how to prepare your resume, how to do the interview and have that 60-second elevator talk they talk about, those type of things. It's like recreating a path for success. And a lot of people, they're not sure where they're going. So you also can do skill assessments to see where are most of your skills, or where is an area that you can transfer the skills you have. Because many people, they're unemployed, been unemployed a long time, and it can become discouraging. So the Job Search Club is part of, really encouraging somebody. They should leave there feeling good with, a few things they've got to do that week, and then report back. How did it go? And if they ran into, sometimes people say, well, I have a problem because of my age. I'm discriminated against. And I said, well, employers cannot discriminate. It may feel that way, but maybe there's other things that you didn't quite have for the position. So we can work on that. It's an opportunity to reinvent yourself. And it's sort of like create your own economic stimulus at times, because maybe you've got skills to do a job from home. Create a new avenue of something you've got. Whether it's, you know, some people can get into making different things and find a, you know, an avenue to present that.
Well, we know that Rhode Island and Connecticut are among the last states to recover from the recession. However, when you go out, say, on a site either through the Department of Labor or sites that you go out on, Maura, and you see within a 25-mile radius of Stonington that there are
a lot of
at
jobs.
least up to 500 jobs of varying qualifications, then we're not going to throw up our hands and say, you know, well, I've looked for a job, you know, and I can't find one. There are jobs out there, and I think that people just need the assistance, guidance, encouragement that they can find at the neighborhood center.
Yeah, because, you know, it can get you down a little bit because looking for that job becomes a full-time job.
It is.
And you need to start in the morning and doing it. That's why we start Monday morning with a job search club, and that's why each day we'll have morning, you know, sessions or different training things or helping somebody on the computer, because a lot of people, oh, I don't know how to look, I don't know how to do this.
Right.
So those are things that, you know, we can work on. You know, and work on too networking, because that's the hidden job market. That's where there's a lot of jobs. So the people you know, make sure everybody you know knows you're looking for employment, because you don't know whether their husband has an office and he's looking for someone you're going to fit into, or some kind of mechanical thing if that's your skills.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of jobs. I had somebody the other day and he's got a lot of skills and things, but his resume was like very long, very wordy, because you've got to remember that HR, which I come from that background, is only going to look at that about 60 seconds. And if something doesn't grab them, then you're going to go over here and maybe they'll get you at another point. You know, same thing, the suggestion line on your email. It's got to be something that if everybody's applying for a receptionist and you all put receptionist, you're just part of the pack.
Right.
So you got to put something that's going to stand out. You know, maybe I got Receptionist of the Year award or whatever it is, to make you different. It's all about marketing yourself.
That's right. And you've had many years in human resources experience working in different companies. And the way I look at Maura and Maura's position is we are very fortunate to have you working for us, because you're like the HR person for the community, matching up people in the community with companies in the community.
Right.
So you're being the human resources individual for the whole area.
Yeah, because hopefully we're not only helping the individuals, but we should be able to help the businesses to find an individual that is the perfect match for that situation. That's the ideal thing
That's
that
the
we're kind of
idea.
really looking for. So we can become that, you know, where Connecticut Works is a one-stop workplace. Well, we're going to be like a one-stop to put them into a position. And we work closely with Connecticut Works, because I
Right.
constantly refer people down, because they've got courses that you can take every single day. They're all a little different. So, but we, again, a lot of people have trouble getting there and getting back. So we'll bring speakers from Connecticut Works to present some of the same programs that they have down there, because not everybody can get there, unfortunately.
Not everybody can, and we'll work on the issue of transportation. I mean, it's certainly an important committee in the state of Connecticut, a large committee. They know there are issues with transportation, and we were fortunate to get a bus stop right at the end of Chase Street, where we're located.
We can provide passes and
Absolutely,
set
we
up an
can.
appointment for them to go down there and pick up some of the other things that maybe we don't have at the moment.
Right.
But we've got a beautiful computer lab section
Yeah, we do.
that we need to use more, and you know, make sure that it's being used in the way to make sure they get that job, or
Yep.
they know how to apply online for that job, because sometimes there are a lot of things that they ask that they're not sure how to answer, you know, those type of things, and they're timed.
Yes.
So they need to make sure they got everything and get it in there.
Within the last 7 to 10 years, the way to apply for a job has changed, and so there's no stopping that. It's how do you now learn how to go about applying for a job in the way that will get your foot in the door, get your application looked at and reviewed, and as you say, there's a time limit. How do you practice for that time limit? How do you phrase things? And I think it's very exciting. I just know that in 2015 there will be a lot of very good results, and putting the community back to work is the best way to stabilize an individual, a family. We offer emergency food pantry. We offer free clothing and daily living supplies. That helps,
Right.
but the best way is this way.
Definitely. Just want to really try and shorten their job search and show them how to get in there and, you know, really present themselves. We have a career clothes section in our clothes closet. So if they need, a man needs a shirt or a tie or nice pants or a jacket, we have that available. Same thing for the ladies, whether it's dress slacks. You know, we may not have the exact thing every day, but we have a big selection. A lot of people have donated clothes that are specifically for career search, because that could make the difference. If you, even if you were showing up for a manufacturing job, if you show up just in a nice shirt and pants, that might make the difference between you and somebody else that shows up in ripped, torn, dirty jeans or whatever, because you're impressing that you took the effort to, you know, look presentable. So I think it's going to work. I think it's going to create a lot of energy, is what we need, and I'll have the time now to really spend with calling people back, follow-ups, and, you know, how did that interview go? Did you do that thank you letter? Those type of things. That it's going to work. It's going to, even if they don't have transportation, there are jobs within the greater Wesley, Pawcatuck area that they can get to.
Yes.
They may have to walk, you know, a little distance, maybe a couple, but if you walk around, many places have signs right in the windows. So the opportunities are there, whether they're in the newspaper or the online sites, whether it's Connecticut Works or Indeed, we use some of those. There's a lot of opportunities, but they just have to see how they can use their skills and where they fit.
What we've done with this, when we created the Job Club, and it originally became funded by the Community Foundation, and we've had recently some more funding from Dime Bank, and we thank all of our funders very much. Without your assistance, we couldn't be doing any of this without your support. And we did part of, in the Human Services Department, we dedicated part of the time to this effort. And now in analyzing, kind of looking at, you know, the successes that you've had putting people to work, how much more could happen if just 100% of your time
We have a job board,
was dedicated
and the
to
traffic that goes to our job board is unreal.
It is.
I mean,
It
people
really is.
all over the community that I run into, some of them come in just to look at the job board. So the important thing is I've got to be able to kind of snag them so I can help them beyond where they're at. Because I know most of you are familiar with the book, What Color is Your Parachute? And there's one part in the back where they say that Job Search Club, where there's an 84% success rate of those that attend a job search club. 84%.
84%.
And I have seen that those that did come regular, they did have more than one job offer frequently. So it's all part of getting encouraged. Like many people say to me, oh, I do it at home, I don't need to come because I'm on my computer all the time. Well, that's nice, but you need to be in an atmosphere of encouragement. And all of us can learn something. I can remember when I was unemployed, I was an HR specialist, generalist, and I went to Connecticut Works and took those same courses. But I could have said, what do I need to do that for? I place people, I hire people all the time. But I learned things, because we can always, we don't know everything. We can always learn something. And I picked up so many, you know, little helpful things to enhance my job search from going to those classes. And that's the same thing. People that will come here will enhance their search, and it'll make it so much easier. The man yesterday, I mean, 4 or 5 things I told him he didn't know, and etc. And he left energized. So he will. Hopefully, he's going to come back this Monday. You know, and I like to hear back if they did get an interview, you know, and then follow up on it, or if they received a job.
And we'll be following up with people because we care whether you get a job or not. We care whether you're back to work. And the other thing is to keep an open mind when you're looking for a job, because you might not get the job that, all right, this is, you know, titled whatever. This is what I did before, I want to do it again. It might not be available right now, but something else might be available, and that will tide you over until you can get this
something
other.
in between. It may not be the ideal position, but it's a job, and I strongly, you know, push temp agencies. Because that is a terrific way to go. I worked for one. I worked for Ronstadt for a while, and they're very professional. They're in Providence. So there's different staffing agencies. Some specialize in manufacturing of those, others more in the government contracts. So there are many different ones, and I refer people there, and they will give them skill assessments to see if they do have the skills for the position they're applying for. And sometimes I worked many different jobs when I was doing temp,
Yep.
so it gave me an exposure to say, that might be an area I want to go in. I never thought of that. I worked for, lawyers doing like some of the paralegal stuff,
Yep.
a whole bunch of things, and it enhanced my experience, etc. And it was enjoyable. I liked working temps,
Yep.
and it led to the full-time position.
Right, right. It does lead there. I mean, it's all a journey, and that sort of thing. Many of the you won't see as many jobs in the newspaper anymore, and you won't see as many jobs online. Actually, it's expensive for companies to place that, but they'll advertise on their company website. Sometimes.
Right.
Sometimes it's word of mouth.
Or Connecticut Works is free. If you're
Yes.
an employer in the state of Connecticut, you can put it on for free. And I'm sure Rhode Island's Department of Labor, it's the same way. So more and more people should be doing that.
Yeah.
And because it is free, it does have a lot more exposure. So I direct everybody there and, let's do it. But Vicki and I always say, the newspaper has like hardly anything in it. But you only need one job.
Right.
And that one job you need might be in there.
It might be in there.
So I always say, go to the library on Monday morning
Absolutely.
and read all the local Sunday papers all around our whole area. Because,
Included in that is the resident. They also
yeah, the resident has good.
has job
Yes, it
openings in
does.
there, and don't leave any source
No,
untapped.
even those
basically.
free ones that come around that sort of pick up the ads all week. Pick that up. They're free, that one, and you can take it home and look it over.
Right.
Just because the job's been out there for several weeks doesn't mean they're still not looking.
Right.
Because everybody wants to find the right person for the position. So.
And I've had people say to me, "Well, I haven't heard back," and people don't hear back as quickly.
Right. And we can understand
and
that.
that has changed. That
Yeah.
has changed too. The staffing in companies in the Human Resources Department is not as large as it used to be, and in many companies. So
And they
coming
get
in,
hundreds and hundreds of
my-
applications now.
they
You
sure
may get
do.
300 or 400. We've gotten
Yeah.
hundreds for part-time positions
Yes.
that we've advertised for
Yep.
at times. And you try to go through it and find the one that matches. It takes time, but you don't have the manpower to send out thank yous. We usually try to at
Yep.
least email back a thank
Yes.
you, because that can be a quick way. That's how I've done it.
Yep.
But again, sometimes if you got 400 or 500, you may not have the time to do that.
right?
So it's understandable. But I always say, unless they say no phone calls, I always say try to follow up.
Yeah.
Because then you're gonna pull your app to the top. And the other thing is when you post resumes online, you need to go out every couple weeks and hit edit. Because when you don't have to change something, but once you hit the edit, it's going to bring it to the top. A man I talked with the other day, he's got them out on maybe Monster, a bunch of different things, and he says, I hear nothing anymore. I said, what happens every time somebody posts, you're pushed down, 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 so you've got to edit to bring it to the top.
Ah, okay. Very
Because
good.
that's why you're not going to hear. But now you're fresh and new again.
Right.
You don't have to change it, but just hit edit and then save, and you've bounced to the top.
Yeah.
So anywhere you've got them posted, I think they all work the same way.
I think in 2015, where in the past few years we've dedicated really an hour and a half to 2 hours, or basically the morning, if you had enough people, to the job search club. Now we realize the number of people that are without work, and the cost of living is not going down. It's going up a few dollars in
Yep.
every category. So just us as an agency shifting gears, deciding, no, we're not going to just devote one morning a week. We're now going to devote 5 mornings a week. Or an afternoon. We're going to be flexible on that, whether it's an afternoon or morning that
Right.
you come in. We're gonna the whole week. The whole week we are going to be available to the community to come in, use the computers, talk with you, learn when we're having a speaker come in. All kinds of things that can help you too through the time that you're unemployed. For instance, maybe we could mention the Department of Labor, Department of Social Service bus. When it comes again, things that can help stabilize you through your period of unemployment, because some people's unemployment will
and make sure you
benefits will have run out.
that you sign up with us to get the food from us and, and the other daily living things, because if you're unemployed, you definitely qualify to be a client if you're within our service area, which is Westerly, the 02891 zip code, Stonington, as long as it's this side of the river, and North Stonington. So if you're in those areas, then we're going to give you food.
Sure. And we'll have somebody from the United Community Family Services coming twice a month.
For SNAP.
For the SNAP program, that's Supplemental Nutrition Assistance, and used to be known as food stamps. There's no stamps involved. It's a debit card that you get, and so we have somebody coming twice a month, and she also helps with insurance, does she not?
Well, she can do enough, I think, to redirect them.
Okay.
It's one of the difficult things in our area is we don't really have somebody that does that insurance, particularly, and all the things I get. So we do send them into Rhode Island. They can get them done, as a representative at Wood River Health Clinic that will do Connecticut. And you'll sit down with a real person to point you whether this program's better for you than that one. And it's really good. SNAP, they'll be here this Friday, January 9th, between 10 and 12. And then she'll be back again on January 23rd. And that day she'll be there 9 to 12. And she meets, I believe, downstairs, I think. And always keep that in mind. Usually she comes twice a month. And just give us a call. We don't have her February dates, but she'll give them to us. And, she can answer the questions, submit whatever needs to be submitted. And she's very easy to work with. And, and she's very busy
wonderful
when she comes, because more and more have that need.
And if you're unemployed and you need to use the SNAP program for a period of time to help feed yourself and your family, by all means do it.
Definitely.
By all means do it, but also attend the job club. And we want to do everything we can to put the region back to work completely. I mean, we're a beautiful area that does have seasonal jobs. So we have seasonal jobs in the summer and the spring. We've got tourism. And in the winter, there could be snow plowing jobs, that sort of thing. People who are older can't shovel their own walks. They'll need help as well. And so there are places who hire people to do those types of almost seasonal specific type of things. And we have many gems in our area as far as tourism that look for people who can, I'm thinking of Mystic Seaport and Mystic Aquarium, Denison Pequot Seapost Nature Center. There are all kinds of interesting, wonderful places, theaters, that may be just the perfect thing for you to get introduced, and you work there seasonally. And
the other thing is too, as Vicki was mentioning, a lot of these are non-for-profits. And if you're unemployed, one of the things to do is to volunteer.
That's it.
So any of those, whether it's the aquarium, you may volunteer. That goes on your resume. They've got a place to pick up and talk to them. If you're not a client with us, you can volunteer with us. And then that could lead to a job there if an opening happened. But it also is showing people that you've used the initiative. So she mentioned a lot of places that you could volunteer at. And there would be the Nature Center, a wonderful place if you like animals and all that. Those are great places to volunteer at.
And having the right attitude for, maybe you're shy, but and with Maura's guidance, learning how to approach people and to put your best foot forward, be willing to do whatever you can. If somebody needs a truck driven, which we do sometimes, to pick up supplies and food or whatever the product might be, and I'm mentioning our agency's situation. And somebody has a great attitude, a great work ethic, they're there on time, they're willing to work, they're willing to, that makes an impression. You don't forget that person, you really don't. And then you know that they're looking for work, and you might know somebody else here who needs some help, and one thing can lead to another. And since we just have a few moments left, Maura has a
Energy,
couple of minutes more to, more things I should say, to tell you about the Job Club. But we are also a site for preparation of taxes for free.
Yep.
And TVCCA, we're a site for that organization. Thames Valley Council for Community Action. And we are every Thursday night from January 29th through April. And the date, I think it's 8th. And you can come in if you make $53,000 or under, and there will be 4 preparers. Yes, an appointment has to be made. Just call the Neighborhood Center, 860-599-3285, or even better, calling TVCCA, which is really where you're supposed to call, 860-425-6597, and make an appointment. You can do that today.
And request to have your taxes done at our site.
At our
That's what you
site,
want.
and at our site, and there are 2 or 3 other sites, and they will tell you about those if you want to go to another site. But we'll also have AARP for seniors and the American Association for Retired Persons. They will be in here at the PNC during the day on every Thursday up until taxes need to be filed, and that will be for free too. So that is
That
another
one they
way.
call our number though, right?
They do call our number,
And that's
860-599-3285, extension 13, and speak to Kim, and she will put you on the schedule for the seniors. For the seniors.
That's really great because, you know, sometimes they can't come out at night or they can't get a
Right.
ride at night. So this is providing during the daytime to get those taxes done that they need done. So we really cover an awful lot at the PNC
Yes.
from, you know, whether it's food and friendliness. When you walk, people, you know,
Right.
our volunteers are the most friendly, and they know everybody. They know
They
the
do.
babies, and they make everybody happy just to come.
They do.
And that's such a blessing because, you know, people sometimes feel embarrassed to come, or that people are putting them down, and
Not at all.
it never happens.
It's a happy place.
Yeah,
It really is.
It is. The kids love coming because we have the book center. They can take home 2 free books every time they come, and frequently have little stuffed animals for them. It varies, but we always try to leave them going away with you know, a happy feeling. We're also into the energy assistance time right now too, which in the next day or 2 is supposed to be at 20 below zero. So it's time to call up if you need fuel. That's whether it's deliverable fuel or your electric and all those. And TVCCA does that program. It started December 1st. It runs through May, but it's a good idea to come as soon as you can. We also have Operation Fuel, and that's a second place they could go. But if they did receive the safety net from TVCCA, then they cannot get any additional fuel from Operation Fuel. You may not always know that, so that's something we have to look up to make sure. That did happen. We do right now have Project Warm Up until they run out of funds, and that's through the United Way. So you could bounce there if you did use the safety net. But there are some excellent, you know, when you get on TVCCA and you make sure you have to bring in your electric bill, etc., then you're going to get on that winter protection program, which means they won't shut off your electricity, but which also means you do need to send some money periodically throughout the winter. If you wait to May and you get a $2,000 bill, there aren't any agencies that can help you. So we got great programs. We want to keep you warm and secure. So please call and set up an appointment with one of our representatives.
Thank you very much, Maura. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Just to let you know, we have Job Club 5 days a week, and we'll be taping another show, and it'll be devoted to energy fuel assistance to keep everybody warm this winter. So Happy New Year again, and we'll see you next week on the Neighborhood Center.